Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. A bill has advanced and it is moving forward. We're going to see if this thing is going to actually make it across the finish line, and it absolutely impacts the VA, and wanted to talk about it. Before we jump into it, though, I want to throw on a special thank you to Jesse Burgess 572. Jesse Burgess, thank you so much for the super comment, super chat. I really do appreciate your support so very much. All right, so jumping into this, I found this, there's a few different articles on it, but this one was on behavioral health business, and it just actually came out when? June 20th, 2025, and I wanted to share it with you now. Please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. Every thumbs up, every minute watched really does help the channel expand the reach and brings us into the know, right? We, as a veteran community, have spent way too long in the dark, and now it's good to know what's going on. Now, if you support this legislation, even if it's already passed, through your congressperson's hands, reaching out and letting them know that you're paying attention is always a good thing. So you could either thank them for their support or encourage them to support it. All right, so let's jump into it. The headline here is VA Mental Health Bill Advances, and wanted to jump into it so we can bring everybody into the know. Look, here's the reality. There are a lot of veterans out there with mental health, whether it is PTSD, MST, depression, anxiety, used to be insomnia was able to fall in there, but they've taken that ability away most people were getting that as a secondary, but the VA kind of clamped down on that. Now you're looking at more of, depression type of things as a result of your insomnia due to your service-connected condition. Anyway, that's a whole look. Everything that I talk about, there's little rabbit holes down the path, and it's hard to not explain different nuances along the way. And I know some people are here for just the nuances. Thanks. And at the end of the day, this is better than a rock in your shoe. So that's also another shout out. Thank you guys. I really do appreciate your support. So with that being said, if you're having any issues with your claim, we have created evidence-based VA claims. Ideally, look, at the end of the day, we don't really want your business, but if we do end up getting it, we are going to do the best job for you. But ideally, you can figure it out yourself. Go to an accredited rep for free. Get it done with somebody who's capable and competent. But if you're running into roadblocks or you're having problems, we are happy to help. We have a small team, limited space available for you, but I'll drop that information in the description and in the comments. Evidence-based VA claims. The email is vaclaims@EB, that's evidence-based, so Echo Bravo, ebvaclaims.com. Again, the information will be in there. So anyway, let's jump into this. As more veterans turn to private mental health care and away from using services from the Department of Veterans Affairs, the government is looking to polish its lackluster reputation for providing appropriate behavioral health services. Okay, so right now that's already a lot to take in. Please put your comments in on how you feel about VA's mental health services, what you think about that. Maybe you have experiences with both that and the community care aspect, or even let's throw in Vet Center, right? A lot of folks utilize Vet Center. The Vet Center, for those that don't know, is part of the VA, but back in the days when it was created, the idea was let's create a place where veterans can go that doesn't really feel like the VA. So they created Vet Centers. It is under the VA umbrella, but it operates in a whole different way. From my experiences, Vet Centers are pretty spectacular. Obviously, it's a people thing, so it depends where you're going and all of that stuff. But love to get some comments going on services from the VA, the Vet Center, and public. All right, so a new bill that was introduced into Congress on June 10th would require the VA to play a more proactive, I love proactive role in overseeing mental health for this population, providing annual mental health screenings and offering a range of related services. Mental health diagnosis among both active duty military personnel and veterans have continually risen over the last 5 years. It's estimated that 41% of veterans have some form of need for behavioral health care, but over half of them won't seek or receive care. And I think part of that is fear of Second Amendment stuff. Some of it is fear of being able to land a job. So there's a lot of perceptions out there, could be misperceptions. And I think that the VA needs to do a better job on clarifying all of that stuff and the collateral aspects of seeking care. At the end of the day, I'm a fan of seeking care. I think that there's something that's right for everybody, and what's right for one might not necessarily be right for the other. So maybe somebody likes a group setting, maybe somebody else wants I don't want anybody to know I'm here. Let's just have some conversations. So find what you need and find what works for you. Among those who receive mental health diagnosis, this bill would require the VA to remind individuals about their annual mental health checkups, assess their conditions, and conduct outreach regarding the availability of consultations and other mental health services they can engage in, they being you, the veteran. If it becomes law within 2 years of its enactment, the Government Accountability Office, the GAO, will collect data from the VA and report back to Congress on how many veterans received these annual mental wellness check-ins, whether outreach was effective, and how any barriers to care that may have arisen. The introduction of this bill falls against the backdrop of a recent GAO report that revealed a swath of VA-provided mental health care, which for many veterans is community purchased, is consistently ranked low quality, despite the department's increased spending on it. Part of the burden with the VA's mental health care is navigating its complex and sometimes confusing system, which the new legislation aims to ease, according to Congresswoman Nikki Budzinski, who introduced the bipartisan bill along with Congressman Chuck Edwards. Moving on, there's a quotation. Navigating the VA should never be an added burden on our veterans, and this legislation will help make the first step easier to get connected with care they need. That was a quotation by Budzinski, and they stated that in a press release. The article moves on here. It's still too early to tell how the legislation might evolve. The bill is set to be reviewed by the House Committee on Veterans Affairs next. And again, if you support the bill, then you should be reaching out to your congressional members and having that conversation. It's a bipartisan introduction, and the fact that the VA is one of the only healthcare-related areas receiving a surplus of funding in the president's proposed fiscal 2026 budget. So that's an interesting thing, right? With all of the reductions and the cuts in spending and all of that, the VA is one of the only healthcare-related areas receiving a surplus in funding in the president's proposed fiscal 26 budget. And those things could help help propel support for it forward. Now, the question again is, I'd love to hear from the user, right? The veteran out there that is seeking health care from the VA or through the VA, either directly VA or vet center, and then those that might have those experiences contrasted with some community care aspects. I have seen comments in the past, a year ago or so, talking about in some areas that the VA was trying to end community care for veterans that were actually seeing mental health providers on the public side and saying, oh, well, now you're eligible or you have the availability to get it at the VA, so we're no longer going to approve your community care, which I think is just a disaster. So glad that aspect's going away, but I'd love to hear from you guys, so please put that in the comments. I really do appreciate the support by putting in comments and sharing your knowledge so others could read it. All right, with that, thanks for watching. I appreciate you very much. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.